hell if it ain't the Blazing Sword and his merry crew.
Mahavar? I can't believe you're still alive.
Course I am. If you landlubbers can make it out of that sinking ship alive, ain't no reason an old sea dog like me wouldn't too.
Yeah, but that wave hit hard. I'm glad to see you're okay. Sorry we put you in so much danger back there.
All water under the bridge at this point. You helped make one of my life's dreams come true. The ship, on the other hand, she took a bit of a beating, though, I'll admit.
Really? What happened to it? It looks fine to me on the outside.
She's fine now, but she was in rough shape when I made it back here. Engine chamber gave up the ghost. Without a lot of options, I decided to talk to the head honcho of the Dark Wings and see if he could help at all. And wouldn't you know it, Crazy Fool sent over Renin engineers to help. Can you believe it?
Renin?
Yep. Said they came from Menancia. They were real professionals. Did what they needed to and didn't give me guff or anything. I was damn near floored.
So they did the work themselves?
Well, they did a bang-up job, because she's better than ever now. Speaking of which, I take it she's why you're...
Yes. We need to get out on the ocean, and fast. When can we...
Give the man a minute to think it over, Alphen. He hasn't even said yes yet.
It's all right, little lady. I'm a man of the sea. I'll gladly help. Hop aboard, folks.
This thing already looked plenty huge from afar. Seeing it up close makes it really hit home.
I didn't expect the journey to go so smoothly. I figured the Renins would send something to sink us.
Maybe they didn't think we had the nerve to come.
Somehow I kinda doubt that.
It's entirely possible they don't see us as a threat.
What do you mean?
That they think they're beyond our reach. Still, this structure is quite the unusual sight. Truth be told.
You're right. It doesn't look like the buildings on Lenegis at all. Or like any Renin structure for that matter.
It's weird. It doesn't feel like the kind of thing that has people inside either. Yeah, it's definitely something creepy.
I don't know. It's not mechanical or biological, but it's definitely alive in some way.
Shion?
I'm okay. It's nothing.
Well, what do we do now?
We have to stop this thing from siphoning off all of Dana's astral energy. That means finding the core and smashing it to bits.
Okay, but look at the size of it. I don't know if we'll find the core just wandering around.
Good point. Can anyone get a read on the astral energy around us? Any kind of a sign?
There's a rather enormous flow of energy moving directly upwards. If we wish to follow it, we'll have to do some climbing.
Rinwell?
Over there?
Hey, what's up with you?
Huh?
You okay?
I'm not sure. When I was reaching out to the astral energy, I thought I heard a voice.
A voice?
Yeah. I couldn't make out any words, but
This seems like a trap.
it's not a trap.
How can you tell?
Listen, I don't know why, but when it spoke to me, I knew it wasn't hostile.
What do you think?
It could well be a trap. However, it's also our only real option short...
Let's trust Rinwell on this.
You sure?
Yeah.
It beats the alternative, I guess. What did I say? Sheesh, it's like walking on eggshells around here.
Sometimes you have to choose your words more carefully, Law.
Huh? Oh,
see that the interior of the wedge is every bit as strange and unusual as the exterior. Intriguing.
If I didn't see it come from Lenegus, I wouldn't believe it was Renan. Just...
Ow! Pierce!
Arctic Spirit coming through!
Megasonic thrust!
Demon Lash!
Dragon
Blow away!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf!
You're mine!
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
No complaints here! I'm ready!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Confiscated!
Blow away!
On your knees. I shall ensure you survive this.
Here's a healing arc!
Resonate with the earth!
You picked the wrong fight!
Stalagmite!
Time to let it rip!
If it's in the sky,
Blow
it's
away!
mine!
Raining slash!
Water!
Blow away! Raining slash! Blow away! Raining slash! Here! We did it!
We barely managed to turn that battle.
You don't need to sound surprised.
Raining slash!
Perhaps I'll put more
I wish I
faith in
could
you
throw
then.
like you.
You wish to learn my secrets yet?
Yes, Master. Please, teach me the art of defense.
Wow. Look what I just found.
Wow! You've got to be lucky to find this stuff!
Indeed. I can tell it's quite the find.
Ready to go!
Healing circle!
Follow
dead! Talon Hurricane! Instant! Whatever you do, just stay away from the spore!
Resonate with the earth!
Hold on to your heart! Here I come!
It's over! Blow away! Come and face me! I've been hit with something! Take this!
So even a masochist has his limits.
No, feeling
You
so
are the
great.
epitome of brawn before brains.
Thank you. It's mostly a compliment.
You're finished!
This one's mine!
Blow away!
I'll come
Now
out!
I'm in the groove.
Recover!
Here you go.
Seems about right to me.
This is all Dana's astral energy.
Are you saying the Renans are funneling it through here to send to Lenegus?
Sure looks like it. We have to put a stop to it. Quickly.
Right, here goes! There! Dark wind! Back the flame inside me! Fury to be less green! There! Take this! Rending! You're finished! This one's gonna be tough!
Instant!
No
time to break this night.
Vacuum blade! You're mine! It's over!
Lost! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one!
Already on. I'm ready.
By the power of water!
Don't get careless.
Get lost!
Here! Blow away! Raining slash! Here I am, my turn!
I can shatter any steel. Soaring blast. I'm on a roll, man. Flying spree.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There!
Now!
Got you! You're mine!
Over!
Elusive
Jeopardy!
being.
Power of water!
Demon Lash.
Eagle
Ray.
Take this!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
This seems strange. Like it should be among creatures you'd find in a forest.
Cut it out. I don't need to hear that. It's gotta be man-made, right?
Were it so, it would not be any easier to predict. Remain vigilant. Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
bait to them!
Hear my call!
No blade shall break this through!
Hear me, flame of Easter!
Hear
my call!
Super swallow! Here I come! It's over! Burn in hell! I owe you one! Tornado drive! First! Next! Not a chance! Enough! Strike! Let's tear him up! Blow away! I'm not done! Megasonic thrust! I'll tear you apart! Tempt it!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I won't forgive you!
Take this! Eat this!
Not in your dreams!
Glacial Spear.
On your
Is that statue wielding art? Now I've seen everything!
You're finished! Got fires!
I've got it! Let him marksman!
All yours! Through armor!
Hear me, flame!
I never miss!
Eat this! I'm ready! Run you
Long!
through!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right,
My
next
turn.
one!
I'm not done!
Already on it!
Ready? Blast! Blow
I'm
away!
only getting started!
Take this!
I wish I could throw like you, Law.
You wish to learn my secret?
Yes, Master. Please, teach me the art of defense.
Well, looky here.
This place...
I don't know when it happened, but we sure...
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
We should probably clear some stuff out. Like our old weapons we're not using anymore.
No way. Those are still good as new with a little polishing. If anything, I'd say all our...
But that armor's also still good once you fix it up. Besides, better to have too much armor than too...
Well, what about all these dumb old antiques we're lugging around? If we sell those,
Simpletons such as yourself who can't appreciate the true worth of...
pretty art's not gonna say...
Stop it, you guys!
All I really meant to say is, you can tell how much we've been through by every...
Oh.
My deepest apologies.
Yeah, I guess it's...
I guess all this...
Yeah.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
I won't forgive you!
Here! Raining slap! Rending you a bloody howling!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Prepare to be sealed, O fleet of foot. Actually, that sound is more appropriate.
In a bind.
More doing. Going! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes, a merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
There! On your knees! Vacuum blade! There!
Do it!
Drag it down! Blow them away!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
This looks nice and tough. Sure climbed up a long way, haven't we?
Watch your step ahead. With no fencing in place, it would be quite hazardous to fall.
Right, here goes!
Water, hear my call. I never miss.
They got me flanked! Blow away! Air pressure! Raining slash! Ignite!
They look cute and stuff, but they're big. I'll heal you all.
Flying free!
Looks like you came to...
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Raining solo dance! Blow away!
Easy and snaring to me.
Raining
Yeah! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right, next one.
Already on! You shouldn't have messed with me!
If it's in the sky,
Turn the
it's
tables
mine.
on her!
There are still more left.
Right! No time to hold back! Bloody vacuum blade! On your knees!
Glacial spear, pierce evil.
Air pressure! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Talon storm!
Into the shadows.
Raining slash!
Never
Blow away!
Nicely done.
This looks... It's nice and tough. Coming through.
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword, and with my sword.
You're finished! I'll take you all on! You're mine! You're finished! Raining slash! Elusive deity! Take this! Do it! The enemy wields our spear.
Kizara! We'll soon see about that! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
By the power of
Go away!
Mega Ray!
Mega this one!
Annihilation! Thank goodness we won!
This'll make us even more formidable.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Raining slash!
It's over! On your
Mega Ray! Now body slam us into next week!
Take this! You're done!
I'll tear you apart! Here I go! Super
Armor won't save! Watch this! Raining
Blazing
slash!
spear! Pierce evil! This one's mine!
Yours to be let free!
Dragon shout!
Take this! Ignite!
Back into the fray! Annihilation!
Raining slash!
Into the shadows!
Blew away! Blew escape! Here!
Water! Hear my call!
Watch it! You're mine! I'm on it!
Not in your dreams!
Talon Hurricane! Here I come!
Into the shadows!
Raining slash! Talon Hurricane! Devastation!
That frickin' does it! Healing
It's
circle!
too much! Devastation!
Law! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one!
Already on!
Glacial spear!
Blew
Here's the
away!
evil!
That frickin' does it!
Freeze
Raining
Ranger!
slash! The picture of catapult! Tectonic blew away!
Annihilation!
Raining slash! The flame is rising with good! You let free! Rip and tear!
I'm just getting
Start! Blew away!
By the power of water!
Raining slash! I'll grind you into
Eat
dust!
dirt! Mega Ray! Nice while it lasted.
Burn!
Benediction light.
Ready to go! Blew away! Talon slash!
Hold on to your art! Here I come!
Hurricane!
Benediction light.
Raining slash! Heal! Crush! Solo dance!
Hear me!
Take
Blazing
her
spear!
out!
Burning
You're
spear!
mine!
Water!
It's over!
Here I come!
Eruption! Burn! Slash! Raining slash! On your knees! Blow away! I'm ready!
First aid!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
Coming through.
I'm on it!
Stay calm.
Last one
I shall
out
provide
gets eaten
assistance.
alive.
Sometimes the retreat is the best
Megasonic
strategy.
thrust! No choice. In light. Megasonic thrust!
Talon Hurricane!
Okay,
Let's cut our
here I
losses.
go. Now I can let loose.
Here?
It's here?
Yes. All the energy flowing through the wedge comes together and collects here.
Is that thing a Zoogle? Holy crap, it's huge!
A central core and a guardian?
Once we beat that thing, it'll stop the wedge from taking in any more astral energy, right?
It seems we're in for a fight regardless.
Here it comes.
Stay sharp, everyone.
Is there no end to what the Renans can cook up?
I don't know if that's machine or what, but I do know it's pissing me off!
Watch yourself. There is no knowing what it is capable of.
Any other wisdom you want to pass along?
Here I come.
Hear me, flame of
It's over.
fury!
Resonate with
Burning
the earth.
blood! Water, hear my call! Blood!
Slash!
I'll smash you!
Dragon shot!
Eat dirt!
There! Go!
You're
I'm only
mine!
getting started!
Here I come!
On your
Megasonic
down.
thrust! Pierce!
Freeze
We did it!
laser.
Not a chance! Here I come!
Resonate with the earth.
Strike!
Watch and bleed!
I'm not done!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Here I come!
Freeze
It's
laser!
over!
Bloody holiday!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Devastation!
Freeze laser!
Take this!
Here I come!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Freeze laser!
Blew away!
Not in your dreams! Mega ray!
Raining flash!
Bloody holiday!
You're finished!
Eat dirt!
Blew away! Raining...
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword
It's over!
and with my thorns.
Shia.
I'm not done! Burn in hell!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Carve through armor!
You're mine! Strike!
Freeze laser!
Blew away! Raining flash!
On your
Healing
Blew away!
circle!
Raining flash!
coming
Sorry to be bothered.
We've all got enough on our plates.
Yes, ma'am. One more. It's over. Death Blossom. You're mine. It's over.
Nothing gets by me!
We did it.
My natural defenses are fading. I'm a sitting duck.
Retreat from this battle. The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that.
Thank you. Eliminate that.
Thanks, Shiro.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I owe you one.
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Glacial Spear. Pierce evil.
Eat this!
First
Red
aid.
with the earth! Stalagmite!
Here, I'm almost impressed.
High praise coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Do it!
Going! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Is it over?
What the hell is going on?
Ridwell! It's too dangerous! Stay back!
You okay?
Hey, are you crying?
I'm not the only one.
I heard it. Whatever it was, I heard it.
As did I. I'm not sure I'd call it a voice, but it was there.
What in the world just happened?
That was Dana's astral energy we just encountered. And
You're saying astral energy has a mind of its own?
I haven't the slightest idea. But
You mean when that fire monster came out of the...
exactly. There was such a huge overflow of astral energy, it caused a monster to spawn and take physical form. Maybe the same thing...
Does that mean if you gather enough astral energy, it can become sentient, or...
That's what I'm guessing. But Master Cores are able to hold a lot more energy than a spirit vessel. but we still haven't seen anything like that.
That being said, there may be a mechanism of sorts inside Master Cores and Spirit.
That fire monster. I remember how it only appeared after Balsef's spirit vessel broke.
Then the reason Rinwell was able to sense all that astral energy earlier must have been because it was too much for that Zoogle to contain by it.
So, then where do you think all that energy and poof, it's gone? The Zoogle with it. Doesn't that...
Indeed it does. However, in order for us to move our hypothesis forward, we will need to...
I just can't work out why. Why the...
Rinwell?
I can't help but wonder if it's because of my heritage that I was the... Sorry. Anyway, we should get going, right? We need to make sure the...
Are we gonna have to take this winding path all the way back down, too?
Yeah, but if anything, it should be easier than the climb up.
Everything all right? Nope. Attacking. Yeah. There. Big blade. Vacuum blade. Last one out to keep alive.
That's no ordinary enemy I see over there.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Hear me! I never miss!
You're mine!
Take it.
You picked the wrong fight!
Now you see what I can do.
This one's all mine!
Got you! Mega Ray! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Done. You picked the wrong fight! No further!
Do it!
We got the advantage.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. Ah, guess I misread the landing.
This should be easy.
First aid!
Vacuum blade!
I try not to chase
There!
fruitless endeavors.
Coming through.
Mega Ray!
I'm on it. Vacuum
No
blade!
blade!
Let's cut our losses.
It looks like that beam of light has stopped.
Then is it safe to say we've avoided oblivion for the time being?
I can still sense a faint glimmer of energy, though.
You can tell? Rinwell, your senses seem a lot sharper than before.
And you said you heard that voice.
I guess. Maybe.
If trace amounts, however small, do remain, then it leaves us no choice. We must destroy the entire structure.
What do you suggest? We bring it down piece by piece?
Once that's done, what do we do then?
We go to Lenegis. Even if we could destroy the whole wedge like he suggested, it'd only buy us time. The fact they sent this thing down tells me they're not giving up this planet without a fight.
There's also the matter of the Renis Alma. Its circumstances still have yet to be truly resolved.
But how do we even get to
What if we hotwire one of their starships? There's gotta be one on the planet somewhere, right?
Starships are only seen on Dana at the start and end of the Crown Contest. Otherwise, they remain on Lenegis. Believe it or not, we Renans down here aren't quite as free to come and go as one might think.
Great. Well, I'm out of ideas. We definitely don't have the tech to build a starship. And even if we found a Renin who'd help...
Yeah. Waiting for a starship to come down from Lenegis would probably be quicker than...
Wait. Alphen, when you came down from Lenegis, it had to have been in a starship of your own, right?
Right. Oh, of course.
You can't be serious. That was 300 years ago. There's no way it's still gonna work.
But Alphen didn't wake up until a few years ago. That means it had to have still been functioning that whole time to keep his body preserved.
Indeed. You wouldn't happen to remember where you landed.
My memories around where I parked are still a little hazy, but I do know that I woke up in Calaglia. So chances are it's still in the area. At least it's a place to start. Luckily, that realm's my old stomping ground. So I should be able to get us some help finding her.
This is it.
Yeah. As long as Lenegis stands there, there's no avoiding it.
So what's this help in Calaglia you're planning to enlist?
My buddy Nath. If anyone there knows something, I figure it's him. But first, we need to catch a boat and get back to the mainland. Our first port of call is Ulzebek.
Back where you first started out.
Yeah, along with my dad.
You okay? Liar.
Huh?
You heard me. You've never been...
Excuse me? Just what do you...
Is it about Alphen?
No, not just him.
Something you can't talk about?
Rinwell, I'm not like...
Of course you are! No, I'm serious. Back when we first met... But now I know that isn't true. You and I are the same If any of us is different, it's me. I'm a Danon who can use magic.
Everyone has their own pain that can be hard for other people to understand. I saw the two of you talking and thought you could use a third wheel. So, here I am.
If anyone's the odd one out here, it's me. Believe me.
Want me to go?
I didn't say that.
I get that you must have a lot circling around that head of yours, and that's okay. Whatever's worrying you right now, you're allowed to worry about it. And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I know I'm not a Renin like you, or a maid. I'm not a sovereign, maiden, or lord. I'm just a Danon who used to be. But regardless of all that, I'm here for you, Shion.
That goes for me too. We all want to be there for you. Me and Hootle and even the boys. I mean, that is what friends are supposed to do, right?
I said this to Alphen, and now I'll say it to you.
Thank you, Rinwell, Kisara.
And right on cue, I think I should make my way back and lie down for a bit.
Yeah, I better head back too. We wouldn't want the guys thinking they're in... Can you imagine Law at the helm? Who knows what kind of trouble we'd get into?
Still, if that's true, then it's all the more reason...
I think it's safe to rest here now.
Ah, Calaglia.
Everyone around. Well... not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
Have you got... Has checked your equipment lately?
Whoa. This is... It's amazing.
You always get excited when you find something good.
We should hurry. And get this stuff processed.
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls.
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm...
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renin rule. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere,
But enough about my problems.
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renin starship. You wouldn't happen to know...
A starship? What do you...
To get to Lenegus.
Lenegus? Are you out of your damn...
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well,
Then do you have any historical...
Sure, we've got stacks of...
Mind if we take a look at...
Yeah.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before...
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the record. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm...
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report.
Another meteor in the same area?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out...
All the more reason to check it out.
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor, but there's a giant Zoogle running riot in there.
A Zoogle?
I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you. All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like this.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
It's quite hot here. The climate
No backing down!
Barely a blip on our radar.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So we're back in the Zion mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. So hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that...
It's on! Resonate with the earth!
It's a duel of the arts!
Hefty airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Now! You're mine! Negative jet, blow away!
Here's evil!
Take this! No escape! I'm ready! Eat this!
Kizara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
That's what I like to hear.
If it's in the sky, it's mine! It's over!
I'll face you! You're mine!
Fake balloon! Water! Hear my call!
Blow away! Rocks it!
Here's Flame of Fury!
Easter!
Burning Strike! Glacial Fury! Here's evil!
Back in their defenses!
Glad you have your uses!
Another incantation ruined.
I'll show you how useful I can be!
Not on my watch!
Here! Allow me to
Blow
help
away!
All good things
Burning
come to an end. Blow away!
By the power
Ready! Here I come! Blow away! We got the advantage!
Good. Just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, because Law's on it! Ready to fly! Blow away! Ready to fly! Burn! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction light. Excellent technique.
How are your weapons holding up?
Best not to give me any ideas.
I owe you one.
First strike! Megasonic thrust! Elusive deity! It's all mine!
By the power of
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Thus our strength yet grows.
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
My face is starting to sting, and my throat feels super... parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Resonate with the earth! Move away! Burn! Stalagmite! Denied!
I never miss!
If it curls up, time to get out of the way!
Here goes! Water!
Hit a word! Smoke!
Red!
Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to
No
stop.
armor can stop me!
Remind me to stand and take some.
I wish I could grow like you, Law.
You wish to learn my secrets, young Elfin?
Yes, Master. Please, teach me the art of defense.
You want Grandmaster Kisara for that. Here I come! Strike! Let me free you of your power. Allow me to
Here's a healing art! First aid!
You're mine! Raining flash! Blow away! This one's all mine!
Here's a healing art!
Blow away! So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be it. There are still more left.
Right.
Do it!
No, I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this! Talon hurricane! Raining slash! Inferno blow away! Burn in hell!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Blow away! Take this! Raining slash! Elusive deity!
I never miss!
Now you see what I can. What's this? Far enough!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclops!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
This'll make us even... more formidable.
Guess I misread the landing.
Ow!
Glacial Spear!
I shall ensure
Pierce
you
evil!
survive this. Okay, guys, think it's time to run.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though... I won't make any promises.
Which one is it?
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our... eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them can... contain Earth astral energy.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's...
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle? Take care of them while keeping an eye on it!
Air
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
By the power of water!
This one's all mine!
Benediction light.
Glacial spear! Pierce
I
evil!
really owe you one. Raining slash!
Let the marksman
away!
handle this!
Raining slash! Ignite! Burn! You're mine!
Can't get out of this!
Eagle! Healing circle!
I'm in your debt.
Blow away!
Now you see what I can do. I'm on a roll now.
And where are you going?
There you go.
It's over!
I feel like me again.
Raining slash!
Elusive deity has willing performance.
Storm!
Gemini Aqua!
It's weakened.
Raining this way! Now!
Bring the
I'm not done!
Blood.
Leaving you on a roll now.
Bloody hell. On your knees.
Raining slash! Blow away! Raining slash!
Do it.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here, let me help.
Can you take it?
Away!
Take this. I'll smash you.
Benediction light. The earth throbs in pain.
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Rip and tear.
Raining slash!
Freeze
Blow
laser!
away! Burn! Raining slash!
Death
Mega
blossom.
ray!
Blow away!
Deity.
Burn in hell!
Eagle ray.
Let's
tear 'em up.
Blow away!
Spear! Pierce
Raining
evil!
slash!
Ready and
Blow
ready.
away!
Freeze laser!
Crush!
Death blossom.
Resonate with the earth.
Wide
If
open!
it's in the sky,
Won't
it's
escape
mine!
me.
Back into the fray! Do it!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Here come more!
You'll just have to keep fighting. The enemy heals ours too.
We'll soon see about that.
Here I come! Now! Strike! Raining slash!
By the power
Blow
of
away!
water! Lightning! I'm out of it! This one's mine!
Yours to be let free!
Nothing!
Too much! Try
Let
harder!
me help!
Hold on to your art. Here
I'm
I
ready!
come.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
There. And again.
Talon hurricane.
Blow away!
And it was nice while it lasted.
Confiscated.
Here I go!
Everlasting dark.
Negative gate!
Bloody hell. One more.
Water! Here
Raining
I
slash!
go! Spread! Sorry to trouble you. Reinforcements incoming! Not a problem! Here, let me help! Arch field!
I owe you one! My turn! Blow escape! Blow away! It's over!
Thank you.
Eat this. Talon hurricane.
Don't mind if I do.
I owe you one!
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint idea.
Nope, that is
Blow
silly.
away! Eat dirt!
Confiscated.
Equal soul. I'm just getting started.
Fluidity of your movements is simply
Blow away! Raining slash! Try harder! Raining slash!
excellent technique. How are your weapons holding up? That's not to give me any
Raining
ideas.
slash! Blow away! Raining slash! Blow away! Leave inside me! Yours to be let free!
Death, I'm just getting started.
Blow away!
My reach is even wider.
Oh, now you're talking. Time for one
Raining
more.
slash! Blow away! First strike! Raining slash! Blow away! Double leap! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed blow.
Here I go! Raining slash!
Art expert coming through.
Think again!
Benediction light.
First aid!
Power surges through me.
It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do,
Just please stay safe.
From
Ready to
beyond,
go.
Imbue
How
this
are we
vent with
supposed to
soul
take
with
on
light.
something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alphen!
Watch and learn! That's enough! Go back down! Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy.
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have...
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now.
So that didn't go as planned.
We must consider well if this is the right path.
What do you know? Hey, is that it over there?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders.
Right.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time.
How much time are we talking?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be... We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate...
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets.
Works for me.
We finally made it.
What's on the other side of this door, anyway?
Why ask me when you can just open it and find out?
This is...
But this is...
Right.
Kisara. Oh!
Wow!
Nice one, Elfin.
Thanks. Gotta keep up with the competition.
Personally, I prefer Bologna.
Hey, new equipment!
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, after all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I...
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renin.
No offense to Shion and
No offense taken. And this is no picnic for...
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renin homeworld leave. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with... And it's not just us.
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion!
It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Xion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to...
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Elfin?
Only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Elfin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the...
can't sleep.
Did you...
Hey,
As much as I try to look like I have things under...
you're not the only...
Hey, do you...
No?
That's okay. It came so naturally to you. I was different back then. The Danans were... But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just... Because until that moment, I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me, and it didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared then. Everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want...
Shion.
But then, I realized... I'd only really been thinking... Don't worry, it's okay. I've met too many people along the way who... So I'll fight. For Dana, and for my... I don't know how we're going to do it. But I won't let...
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Dan and... But I swear I'll be there with you.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia?
Yeah. I think...
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
This looks nice and tough.
Looks like we made it here in one piece. Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're...
Law, don't say that. You're going.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bull...
A name? You know, I'm not sure.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right?
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the...
I like it. Sounds perfect for our...
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have 2 goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way... All right?
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right.
From up here, all the struggles we've been...
Nothing like realizing how kind of makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans.
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving us. I think you'll be all right with the control.
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little
Well...
You okay?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looked...
It's a healing pod.
Oh, you don't say... Alphen?
No, Nate.
Is everyone about ready?
Before we do that, just...
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it...
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last...
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operation. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of...
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are...
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohel...
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral art.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't... No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking.
Jeez.
Wait a second. Are you?
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary, as if such simplistic criteria.
So this red woman,
I would wager so. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being...
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana,
That red woman's got a lot to answer for.
We're about to land. The descent could...
if there are clues about your thorns out there... There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis' infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds.
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think...
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a
Shion's right. Who knows?
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. A capital... city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted.
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had...
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dap.
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live.
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locate...
Dohalim?
Avakir. I'm glad to see you.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on...
So you haven't heard what happened on...
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim. Don't tell...
They're with me. More important...
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening.
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone.
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you
Trust me. The less you...
You're just... I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely let alone the Forbidden...
Very well. It looks like we'll have...
Have you...
No.
I see. Well, nothing much...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come? You know it can only result in pain.
I've no doubt of...
You really are the same as ever.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us.
What could be...
So...
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit? The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics.
Well, we've canvassed the city for...
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all.
You'd think that info would easily find its way...
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth.
Given everything that's happened to...
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle had stopped listening to him.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been... Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them...
The Sovereigns? There is one thing I'm still not sure about.
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and...
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least... That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total... Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of... Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met?
No.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that...
Hold up, what...
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the
But what about trade and communication?
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case... What if something were to happen to this...
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler.
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, as for how Volron factors into all this, at this point,
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the... That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without...
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason?
I can't say for sure.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the... We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's...
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma?
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from...
Questions, and yet...
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a...
Then it's decided.
One of the citizens met... Let's go find... I didn't...
With nobody left to run the show. I mean, there's Sovereigns up on the...
But Dohalim...
Only current acting lords have power. Renan's...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be...
I wonder what they'd think if they were here. Balsif, Cannibal... Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about...
Well, yeah, why... To us Danans, they were just enemies.
I know.
It feels strange to imagine...
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try... Every lord in their household has their share of support. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware...
Tell me,
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, is it...
There's something I just...
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead, in which case the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was.
Yeah, that makes...
So...
Hanfricht Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem...
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly,
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually...
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland.
And that never...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies.
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it did... If even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite...
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a...
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might...
No use standing around here chatting about it.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't I was...
But why are you here? Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation...
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past...
If killing me will bring you peace...
Dohalim! What the hell?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. You're just a coward!
I apologize that you had to wait.
Is it true? What?
Each of us have our pasts.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's...
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take...
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Something...
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to...
It is something the
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this... Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria met.
He was once my dearest, closest friend. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses entranced by her playing. I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music.
A friendship based on mutual respect. And a society where everyone is a prisoner to...
I suppose it's natural you would see it as...
I would have. Now, I think the... Besides...
Your praise does me too great an honor. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became... Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the high... But fate was not...
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand...
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think...
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danan's there.
Shion's right. What other Lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else? You've saved so many people. You saved me. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden...
Frank as always, but... I shall do...
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's important to have someone like...
I didn't realize how difficult it is to...
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going. More times than I can... Count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say... Thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer. They're over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Ho!
I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menancia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
It's already
Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest.
Carve through armor!
Like a field?
Mine!
Burn up!
In an instant!
Impact block!
You're mine!
You'll soon see about that!
Talon Sword!
Not on my
Megasonic thrust! Pierce! Megasonic the flame inside you! Yours to be let free!
Swallow dance! Freezer! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Megasonic thrust! Lightning flash! Attack time! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Doha.
Indeed. They seem... And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been...
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met.
I've never seen anything...
Maybe someone doesn't want to.
What, with the Red Woman?
Astral energy!
Say no more! Reflector!
By the this one's mine!
Dragon blade! Raining slash!
Downfall!
It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Raining slash! Blow away!
Annihilation!
Take this! I'm not done!
Come on,
Raining
roll
slash!
I'll take you.
Here goes!
Talon hurricane! Take this!
Rending you apart.
Bloody
howling. Resonate with the earth.
Blow away!
Do it!
Slash! Swallow dance!
There's always room for improvement.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone... Retreat! If you know what's good for you. Can you take it?
Vacuum blade!
Okay, guys, think it's time to run.
I think I'll pass on the handshake.
Retreat! If you know what's good for you.
I really... Okay, guys, think it's time to run.
I'm the true gut.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alvin.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision.
It was Naori. Naori.
Yeah.
She really does look like Shion.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be...
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before...
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out...
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this...
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan...
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same...
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being... For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible?
We have no way of knowing.
Shion.
Yeah, it was all... So that was my ancestor, huh?
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, reliving painful episodes from your past.
I can't just pretend like... Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was...
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford...
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Not that I'm complaining. Come on.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria? How—
Wait, something—
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she—
Yeah, you're right.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of
We
plan.
can talk later.
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogle, then we get some answers.
Aim for the weak
That'll
spot.
bring you down.
Raining flash! Blow away! Raining
The
flash!
power of water.
Blow away!
A charge like that could
Here's a
easily be
healing
fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Watch this dog!
Demon Land!
Burn in hell!
I'll face you.
Eagle
Blow away!
Reload.
I'll grind you into
Raining
dust.
Lunar
flash!
corruption.
Blow away!
Gemini offer.
Raining flash!
Swallow dance.
Rending wide open!
Won't escape me.
It's over!
Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
Lunar corruption.
I'm on it!
Lunar blast.
No further.
Stop!
Mega
You're
ray.
moving!
It was nice to relax.
You're finished!
Anything normal is all mine. Here. Another incantation ruined.
Lunar corruption.
Blow away!
Negative gate.
Raining flash! Big one!
Into the
Not
center.
now, not ever. Commander of Heaven,
Phoenix Cyclone!
Benediction light.
I'll finish you here again!
Ready to go. By the power of water.
the flame inside me yearns to be let free.
Catapult! Raining flash!
Blow away.
Here comes something big!
Try to dodge.
Sorry.
You do the same for me.
Swallow dance!
Here, let me help.
Okay!
First aid.
Take this.
Lunar corruption.
Burn!
Swallow dance. Gemini offer.
Soaring blast! Storm!
Annihilation. I'm all stuffed up. Here, let me help. First aid.
owe you one.
Negative gate can't get out of this.
Healing flame of fury.
I can carve through armor.
Burning earth water. Hear my call.
Tear nothing gets by me.
Burning inspiration.
I could do this all day.
Pierce!
Cyan instant.
Megasonic thrust! Pierce!
Annihilation.
Heal.
One more. Lightning. Downfall.
Eat this!
Well, this is
What you
one
thought?
line. I never miss.
Inspiration!
Not my
Megasonic! You'll pay for that! Megasonic! Flame inside me yearns to be let free! I owe you one!
I'll bring you back from death to ready.
elusive deity.
Not on my watch.
I'll face you. You're mine.
Annihilation.
Hitting pile driver.
Didn't think you had it in you.
There'll be time to congratulate me later.
Nothing much I can say to that.
Raining flash!
It's weakened.
Megasonic thrust! This ends now! Raining
Take
flash!
this.
Vacuum blade! Megasonic attack!
Right, watch out.
Storm!
I'm just getting started.
I have no limits.
Blow away!
Here.
Not my fight.
I
couldn't make it in time.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Megasonic thrust!
Everlasting darkness. Negative gate.
Vacuum blade! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you
I'm
all.
on it! Ha! Burn it hell! I owe you one.
It's in the sky, it's mine.
Thanks.
Searing flame. I never miss. Far enough.
What in the world?
Dohalina.
I'm all right. I'm still standing.
Ready and away! I'm ready!
Look sharp.
Lightning Tiger Blade! Now it's just her!
Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes.
Not her.
Shion, please.
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she—
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to...
In that case,
I'll take her off your hand.
you? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry.
And you believed me?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is...
Thank you.
He seems like a good...
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, as for Faria,
You don't seriously blame your...
somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to... And the same goes for you as well. Neither you...
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. But that's why we're fighting.
Indeed.
You can't atone... I know it hurts to hear. But those people are dead. Forgiveness, accept...
So I just forget the harm I...
No, the opposite, in fact. Not for those already...
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our body.
That's what living's all about. Punishing yourself for the past?
Only fixing the problem in its stead.
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve.
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my...
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right?
Do you think...
What is it, Rinwell?
Yeah, it's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable...
An empty void. A nothing so complete...
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad...
So, everything we just...
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking to...
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns.
Maybe my thorns are made from that same
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very...
I've never felt astral energy so powerful.
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right?
Correct. Dark astral...
And when enough astral... If so, maybe that complete oblivion is
I don't know. Will can...
But the will of Dana is made up of astral and... I don't know, should we really be getting...
Dana's will would never want a...
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over...
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless...
Shion's right. All we can do is... And I think they may be the kinds of...
I'm sorry about what...
That vision...
Soon, we might very well learn the truth. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens, I'm determined to save Shion. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some...
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past...
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out.
If the people of... I think I can make...
Well?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy. So the creation of a governing central figure. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of... That must be the Master Course. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the...
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with the... Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular... In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of...
What about the Sovereign?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized...
What is it? Did you find...
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, Alphan.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphan.
It's fine, really.
Test subject number 10105, Volron.
Volron?
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only...
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that no—
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegus. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with It's all lies, including the part. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it—
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to—
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she could be working for someone else.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely in...
What about the data records? Is there no other information that—
Not that I can see. There's nothing here about who's behind all this. Or I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all.
I'll do that.
So only 2...
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... Lenegus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from...
She sure went above and beyond.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her?
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today.
Now that you know how she felt.
If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force. Naori was the one who put that mask on me. And made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent... your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's men.
Of course. After 300 years, this, the spirit channeling, sir. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, I brought that at least would hold the astral energy dormant. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy. That's what I hoped. But the Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, my only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign, even if by doing so, It meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and you paid a heavy price for it. And then the reason you lost your memory
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally...
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, about a life without my thorn. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting... What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah. You're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes, until our future is finally in our hands.
Sounds like... That's quite some door, all right. This might finally...
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here,
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for...
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
We're along...
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Now we're
You're mine!
Take this!
You're
Corruption!
Big
By the power of water!
Megasonic
Everlasting
You're
Soaring
You're mine!
Searing
Stay away from my friends!
Let me show you what my heart can do!
Here I come!
Shine!
soul with
No
light!
escape! Here!
Resuscitation!
Vacuum blade! There!
Lunar corruption! Art seal!
Dragon Shell!
Escape! Blow away! Raining slap! Blow away! It's on! Raining slap!
Dragon Shell!
Negative gate!
Cyan instant! This one's mine!
Blood!
That'll bring you down!
Helen Hurricane!
Ignite!
Inferno!
You're mine!
Lunar corruption!
Raining slap!
Dead!
Blow away!
I'll run you through!
Raining slap!
Hear me!
Megasonic! Pierce!
They smite with black!
Megasonic thrust! Pierce!
I'll tear you apart!
Here I come!
Can't get out of this!
It's over!
Ready and ready!
Here I come! No escape!
Armor won't save you! Air pressure!
Megasonic
with the
thrust!
all mine! What's this?
You picked the wrong fight!
Being interrupted! Eagle assault!
Megasonic thrust! Pierce!
On your knees! Dragon Shell!
Megasonic thrust!
Another incantation.
Not on my watch!
Torn!
I need to pull myself together.
I'm not done!
Now it's my turn! Almost!
Pierce!
Megasonic
thrust! Pierce!
Eagle Dive!
Megasonic thrust!
This one's mine. I'm all stuck. Where are you going?
Swallow dance!
Raining slash!
Eagle assault!
Raining slash!
Eagle
This one's all
Dive!
mine! Eat dirt!
Take this! You can't get out of
Here's
this!
a healing
I'll
arc.
finish you here and now!
Take this!
Flame of fury!
On your
Burning water! Hear my call!
right. Now you see what I can
Raining
do!
slash!
Cyan
Blow away!
You're done!
ready!
Talon
Ready
Hurricane!
to go!
Heal! All good things
Raining
come to
slash!
an end! Far enough!
Not in your dreams! Memory! Annihilation! Hear me!
It's on! Megasonic thrust!
Hear my call!
Rupture!
Spread!
Dance on the wind! Talon Storm!
Burn in
Here's a
hell!
healing arc!
It's on!
First aid!
Eat dirt!
Crescent Flash! Talon Hurricane!
Megasonic Thrust! Pierce! Megasonic Thrust!
I owe you one.
Forgive me. This is my fault.
It's time!
No, in a bind?
Can't end here!
Damn it! They'll pay for them!
There!
Dragon Shout!
Begin! A new lease on life!
Move away! Raining Slap! Move away!
Annihilation!
Raining Slap!
Searing flame!
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Frost!
Here, let me help! First aid!
Allow me to...
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
do it!
Serenus Alma!
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be...
Is Volron... have we
We can but hope.
Those red women.
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those souls...
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Rennis Alma. Damn it!
Whatever's stolen from us, the future's ours to protect. And right now, we can head them off at Rena.
Did you say
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they...
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human.
So this thing over on Rena...
They have the Rennis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah. Not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see...
no backing down! Okay, guys, think it's time to run.
I really don't...
Please, if you know what's good for you.
You got spirit!
I try not to chase fruitless endeavors. That may prove...
Dispose of the trash.
That freaking does it! Okay, guys, think it's time to run.
I'm in your debt.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
What the? When did it get...
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the dough?
You two?
Faria, Avakir.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how
She doesn't remember a thing. So she...
he told me about Tarnigan, too.
What difference does it make?
Stop casting me off!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim,
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but...
You're an elite technician, though.
If so, then what's the...
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like... But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can...
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from...
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we... That is, if he ever even existed. Which is...
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from...
We need to stop that.
But how do we do...
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace...
At ease. Like by letting them hear directly from someone... That's it. Who's the highest-ranking...
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign...
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only... Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength. For if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will...
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing.
It's still too premature to say with any certainty. But I believe so.
But...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan's...
I'd say we've found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You?
I have business I must take care of first. But not as your sovereign. Nor as a leader, the likes of which the people...
But...
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new one in which people won't be judged. Things like... Oh.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. I feel like maybe now I...
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lennox.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future.
Indeed.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll...
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be? After the second chance that... From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world, though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not rule.
True enough. Whatever would I do without...
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when... We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people...
In once... How long have you known?
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring...
Yeah. Which is why we're...
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person with the answers have to be there.
So, what do we do first?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before...
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is
If we come across a capital, we should... What?
Damn! Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a...
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands.
That's bad.
Quite bad. We've lost control.
Is all of this the Red Women?
Are they trying to finish us off before...
Everyone! Look!
A flower.
But that flower looks like it's a...
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you...
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already?
A flower of oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis.
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're...
So what? We're just stuck in...
I don't believe this. We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice.
Law, calm down!
Right.
It's still too early to give up.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is...
We managed to get moving, but...
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more remnants here?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here.
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile.
Hey!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship.